Welcome to Augment, the tutorial channel for Flight Fancy Designs. This is Teresa, the owner and designer of Flight Fancy. For today's project, she will demonstrate how to make a secret garden pendant. If you have any questions or comments, please visit the links below or in the comment section. You will need,
for today, for your materials list, you will need some 18 gauge wire, 24 gauge wire, a 10 to 15 millimeter focal bead, a floral bead, and assorted beads for accents. For tools, we're going to use wire snips, round nose pliers, bent nose pliers, or chain nose if you prefer, and a mandrel or a similar tool. If you have an array of knitting needles, those would work too. To start off, we're going to work with about 18 inches of the 18 gauge wire, and I've already pre-cut a couple of 3-inch lengths that we're going to use to make coils later. But to make the frame, we're going to use about 12 inches of that. Leaving about an inch or so tail, we're going to grab our mandrel and our focal bead that we've chosen to do in the center, and we're going to gauge a center circle that will fit that bead. So we're going to roll it around our mandrel, leaving a tail, and we're going to fit our bead into there and make sure that we have got enough room to wire that in. Now with that little tail, we're going to take our pliers and we are going to bend that straight up at a 90-degree angle to our circle. From there, we're going to start curving this extra wire, and we're going to make an outer frame all the way around the circle here. You may adjust as you go or adjust after we're done. Now at this point here, our tail and our extra bits, we're going to take that and we're going to wrap that 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and leave it towards the back around this 90-degree piece. We're going to snip it very close to that with the flat edge of our pliers. Let me move this out of the way. Next to the wire so it provides a flat edge that isn't sharp. We're going to take our flat pliers and we are just going to work that around and make sure it's flattened against. And then we're going to feel and make sure it's not sharp. Now, you can either use your fingers or take your pliers to adjust your outer circle and make sure your shaping is good. Now, I've got this kind of measured out for my bail. As you see here where we put our chain through, we're going to create a bail. I've got it kind of measured out, my fat little fingers. It's about 1 finger width. To make our bail, we're going to bend that at a 90-degree angle straight towards us. Then we're going to take our round nose pliers, and on the larger measurement here, we are going to just curve this straight back away from us until it meets right here at the back side. Now, what we've ended up with is a frame, nice complete circle that we are going to get our bead centered here. Okay, now with these extra small but about 3-inch lengths that we've pre-cut, we're just going to make some simple coils. Coil on each end. We'll use the smaller part of our round nose, and we're going to make 2 rounds in opposite directions. Although you're going to wiggle it around enough, it's not going to matter a whole lot. You get a little bit of artistic license here. We're going to flatten those out so they're sitting nicely. We're just going to hold this right here and push with our thumb, so we get a nice gentle coil on each end. And we've got a good straightaway in the center. We're going to take our round nose pliers and we are just going to hold at one end, and we are going to coil down the length till it's a little wider. Now you can stretch it a bit if you want. You can twist the ends, give yourself a little bit of an interesting coil there. And I've got a few others made here, pre-prepped. All right, with our finer gauge wire, we're going to use that for the wrapping around the frame and to get our components on. Now this bead, the hole is wide enough. The connection, I'm going to fold this wire in half and put both open ends through the wire so they will connect up here at the top. I need to turn this around so I've got the front facing me. The cut edge is behind, the front is closed. So we've got a little loop here at the bottom. Oh, I know, I banged my light. Life of a creative person. I'm going to go ahead and put just one wrap here on the inner frame at the bottom, and then we're going to get our bead on. I'm trying to stay in frame for you guys. So small, just wrap around the bottom. We're going to grab both ends of this, get our focal bead on here. Get it pushed up tight to the bottom. And from here we're going to separate our wires. We're going to use this half on this side and this half on the other side. And we're going to do a simple over-under. And we're going to have 3 coils on each connection on the outside and just a wrap over on the bottom. So we're going to start with our coils. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to grab our pliers and we're just going to tighten those coils right there so they're nice and tight. They look pretty. And then we're going to make the one connection around the center frame. We're going to bring it up so it looks like a V. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And you can go back when you're done and retighten all of these. Now try not to kink your wire if you get it. You see how I'm pulling here every once in a while? That's to keep the wire straight and unkinked so it doesn't break. Now at this point you can start adding in one of your coils, and however you think or where you want it, where it fits for you. And on this one, you can see I've got one on this side, but on this one, just to show you, I'm going to start on this side. So we're going to pick a coil that we like, and we're going to add it in as we're weaving. So I think flatten her out there so that this will wind up. We'll do our first coil around, and we are going to put this coil on here and continue that 3 wrap. Let me hold it here steady for a sec. 1. You've got 2 to connect the coil. We're going to get it down there tight. And 3. Now, this is where you can start adding in some of your extra beads. And I've got an assortment of just small seed beads and accent beads, pearls, whatever you feel fits. Because what I'm going to do is use that to cover where we're connecting and moving the wire along to the other side. so it's not just a bare wire. So as we do that, and then we can continue, as you can see, then it's got pretty beads instead of just an open wire. So connect, and then we can continue on our way. And if it twists, just untwist it, re-straighten, and continue on. At this point, I would probably put like a pearl in there, alternating colors if you wish. Whatever your color design is, find them, get them in there, and just string them along as covering the wire as you're working. So I've got one started where you can see we've continued on here. Got the coil in, all the accent beads, some pretty pearls to match. Now I'm going to show you how to, now if you want a double coil, when you're working down the other side the same way you did the first side, if you want a double coil, feel free to put it in and work your magic the same way you just did. Now, to add in a flower accent, as you can see here, we've added contrasting bead with a matching flower, or vice versa, however you like it. And I think with this one, because we've got a little bit of light tones there, we'll grab just a little mother of pearl for now. And we're going to grab just a couple inches of your fine gauge wire. Let's move this out of the way for you a little bit. About halfway down, and we're going to go ahead and fold that and tighten it up really well. I'm going to use my pliers, make sure that's pretty good and tight right there so it doesn't show too much when you look at your bead. We're going to use it as the center of your flower. It's also going to be your connector. Nice pretty flower, you put a pretty stamen in there, and now you've got wire ties where you can decide where you want to put your accent. Maybe. Let's try. There we go. So, it's around a wire. We don't want it just arbitrarily hanging out and back. So what we're going to do is cleanly wrap this, and it'll be hidden underneath. You still want to do it nice and clean. We're going to do Is it on?
Yes,
oh, okay, awesome. We're on. How awesome is that? Okay, so we're going to do a nice, neat wrap back here because we want our back nice and neat too and pretty. And I'm going to leave a little bit of the tail here. And with all of these coils that we have, we want to go along as we're working. Whoop. And if you didn't have fat mama fingers, there we go. Tighten these up. Now, leaving a little tail here gives you the opportunity to, of course, add a few more embellishments. I'm going to grab my vinyl pliers here, and there we go. Hold on to it nicely. Now you see what we just did there? You can add a little accent underneath the flower as well, and then we can just wrap it into the coil. And once again, I kind of stick with 1, 2, 3 on my coils because it's nice, it's neat, it's rhythmic. So once you're finally done adding in all of your little embellishments, you've already got your bail made, you've got your pretty flowers, your back is nice and neat, and you are ready to add a chain. Now, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask in the comments, or my links are up there if you want to contact me through the website. That would be awesome. All I guess I can say is creative blessings, good luck, and thanks for watching.